Right, welcome back. It's Confederate 1013, and what's happened is he used his first activation to get those two units of cavalry and artillery into that field part of the town. And looking at the town, actually, it's now empty. Confederate forces. There's only this one unit here just outside the split fencing defending the town. So these boys are really needed in the town there. The only other movement was over here. This unit has now come right to the edge of the wood, so that next time it'll be in range of musket range of these units. But in the firing that did occur, the Confederate general has decided for an all-out assault still. This artillery piece has fired its last shot, so it'll be removed after this turn. And he did score a hit on this infantry regiment, reducing its elan from 4 to 3. That infantry regiment also shot at it, but missed. But this infantry regiment did hit, and it scored 2 hits, reducing this union to 1 elan, and basically meaning that it's now useless. It can't attack. All it can do is defend itself. And over here, the Confederate regiment fired on the Union and scored 1 hit, reducing it. How did they score? Can't remember if it was 2 before. No, I think it was 2 before. I don't think they scored a hit, so they fired with no effect. So that's it for Confederate turn 13. It'll be the Union turn next. Right, Union turn. They advanced their cavalry and infantry reinforcements up this road. It was a reserve move, but they could only move to within 4 base widths of the nearest enemy, so that's as far as they got. But it does now put them on the flank of the Confederate attack. He also had enough movement points to pull this shattered unit back out of the battle line and onto the road. In the firing, the artillery has expended its last shot, and it fired. What did it fire on? Oh yes, it fired on this Confederate unit, but missed. So that's the end of that artillery. That'll be removed at the end of this turn. The infantry and the dismounted troopers fired at this regiment of Confederate infantry in the wood, and both scored 1 hit, so its elans down to 4. But these two are still full strength. Up on the further along here, this little mini battle that's been going on all game, the Union fired no hits. But up on the hill, with its first shot, it fired on the approaching Confederate cavalry, scored 2 hits, and has reduced that first brigade, that first unit, his elan by half, so he's gone from 4 to 2 in one fell swoop. The artillery is still moving up and it's still limbered. So that's the state of play at the end of 1014. It's still everything to play for. Still could go either way, although the Confederate commander is taking a big risk trying to capture this bridge, because he's now virtually left that the town, which is his priority target, his priority mission, undefended. So we shall see. 10:15, the Confederates attack. There was some movement. These 2 units have now jostled forward to bring them in range of this one surviving infantry unit and the dismounted cavalry there. The dismounted cavalry took a salvo from those infantry and reduced their elan by 1. Things getting a bit desperate in the town, so he had enough activation cards to this damaged unit, which is almost useless, but it's still got 2, so it's still a fighting unit. He's moving that into the town as an emergency backup. Also over here his artillery is now unlimbered and his cavalry are charging up this hill. Better put that dice back with that unit so I don't forget. So they're charging up the hill to meet these Union cavalry, so I think we're going to have a rare cavalry engagement very shortly. Well, down here, these two lads are still going hammer and tom through the trees, but again, Confederates fired, no hits, so no change there. So we'll come back next with the Union turn, 10-16. Right, 10-16, and the Union troops open fire here on the flank. Not very effective, no hits at all on the advancing Confederates for the infantry or the dismounted cavalry. Of course, the cannons now gone in the centre. They did pull back this spent unit, it's now retreating down the road, but the reinforcements are coming on. The cavalry is galloping off to attack the flank of the Confederate attack, and the infantry regiments lumbering on as well, maximum speed to try and catch up. What was interesting was over up here on the hill. This cannon engaged the newly deployed Confederate cannon in counter battery fire, and as you can see from the smoke covering it, that's what it threw. You know, so two hits would one hit would disable it and put it out of action for a turn. Two hits destroys it. Well, he's got three, so that artillery battery is no more. Now you can see the cavalry down there, but what happened was the Confederate cavalry charged the Union cavalry uphill, which would give them a disadvantage, and smashed into them. There was a fight. That unit there of Confederate cavalry was already down to 2 elan. It's now down to 1 elan and is being chased back. It's still facing the enemy, but the Union are pursuing them. They've only lost 1 elan. And here again, that Confederate unit was pushed back, lost 1 elan. Actually, this is lost 1 elan because they've been in a melee. He automatically loses 1, so there should be a blue dice here as well. In fact, I'll take one of these cannon dice now. I don't need them there now. Now I've shown you, I'll put that next to him because he needs that. He's on an elan of 3 as well. So that was quite interesting over here. The boys here in the woods, still shooting them, playing them out in the woods. No hits. But as it's the end of 10-16, reinforcement time. And we love reinforcement time, don't we? So let's see if anybody gets anything. Oh, we've got a 6 and a 3 there. Hell, the Rebs are good at throwing 6s. Well, they're not going to get that. And 3 for the Union. Well, they've already had 2, so no reinforcements for anybody this turn. So they're going to have to battle on with what they've got on the table, and we'll have to see how it goes. Right, the Union turn. Sorry, no, the Confederate turn. The Confederates opened up. That end unit fired on the dismounted cavalry but scored no hits. These 2 units concentrated fire on the Union infantry and reduced its elan from 5 to 3. They had 1 hit each. Finally, the battle in the woods. The Confederates have now, not destroyed, but they've made this unit of Union artillery infantry basically broken. Now they're going to have to leave the field. Over on the hill in the cavalry battle, the Confederates had to pull that unit back because he can't attack because it's down to 1 elan and basically it's broken. But the other cavalry unit did attack, and they actually forced the Union back, taking a casualty each. So this battle's still raging. So we'll see what happens now. But of course now there's 2 cavalry onto 1. Well, and it's the Union turn next. So we'll see what happens then. Come back to turn 19, I think this is. The Union 19. No, it must be an even number. 18. It's the Union turn. On this wing, both the cavalry and the infantry let loose under opposite numbers but scored no hits. Here, there was an interesting one. Here, the cavalry attacked on the flank of this rebel infantry regiment, and what they do is you attack. They roll the dice as if they're attacking with carbines or pistols, and they won the combat, reducing that elan from 6 to 4, and then what happens then is they what we call bounce off, so they now move back away a couple of base widths away after that attack. Here, this infantry regiment that was going towards the bridge has veered off. He was going to attack that unit, but as you can see, it's been reduced to 1, and it was reduced to 1 by this crack artillery battery on the hill, which is proving to be pretty damn good. He scored 2 hits. It was on 3. It's now a spent force and it's broken, which does mean, of course, this unit of blueberries could go strolling into town, because the only opponents is a very weakened Confederate regiment. Over here, in the cavalry battle, that Confederate cavalry in the middle, caught on front and rear by the Union cavalry, and as you'd expect, they were destroyed, totally destroyed. That unit there is spent, it can't do anything. So it seems that I mean, it's still in the balance, but the town seems now it is wide open, so the Union could capture the town and still be holding the bridge, depending on how this attack develops. So we shall see in the next turn, the Confederate turn.